If you've never had an awkward or difficult workplace interaction, this video isn't for you. I'll be honest though, I don't think I know anyone who hasn't faced this. Navigating workplace relationships can be really challenging. In my years of working in partnerships roles around the world, I've learned that reading the room, managing your reactions, and understanding what's being said, basically emotional intelligence, is often more valuable than even technical expertise. Today, we'll explore some practices that have helped me and my coaching clients become more aware and connected at work. I'm Kritika, a global sales and marketing leader and an ICF certified professional coach. Welcome to Align, where we explore practical strategies to align your personal values with your professional best. The first practice is learning to step back and observe both yourself and others without immediately reacting. In any interaction, there are two levels happening. There's what's being said, and there's what's going on underneath. There's stated narrative and the emotional undercurrent. Most of us are so focused on what we're going to say next that we miss both. So try this. In your next meeting or conversation, spend the first few minutes just noticing. What's the energy in the room? Who seems engaged? Who's withdrawn? What's your own emotional state? Are you anxious, defensive? Are you eager to prove something? You're not trying to fix anything yet. You're just developing the capacity to see what's actually happening instead of what you think should be happening. I started practicing this in partnership negotiations. Instead of jumping straight into the pitch, I'd spend the first few minutes observing. So sometimes I'd notice that the other person was distracted or stressed, and then I'd adjust my approach accordingly. Sometimes I'd notice my own anxiety and I'd take a breath before proceeding. This observer capacity, the ability to step back and see things clearly, is the foundation of everything else. Once you observe what's happening, the next step is naming it. Emotions don't disappear just because we ignore them. They just operate underground, influencing everything without us realizing it. When you're in a tense conversation and you notice frustration rising in you, silently name it. I'm feeling frustrated right now. When you sense a colleague is upset but trying to hide it, you might gently name it. I'm noticing some tension. Is everything all right? This isn't therapy, it's gentle acknowledgement. And often that itself solves the problem. I learned this the hard way when a team member once kept pushing back on every suggestion I'd made. I took it personally and I got defensive. Before I could react, I paused and I asked, it seems like something's not sitting right with you about this approach. What am I missing? Turns out she felt her role wasn't being valued in the decision-making process. And once we named that, we could actually address it. Naming emotions doesn't make them bigger. It actually diffuses their power. When feelings are acknowledged, people can then move past them. But when they're ignored, they fester. Here's a simple practice that has changed how I handle difficult moments. The conscious pause. When someone says something that triggers you, a criticism or a dismissive comment or a challenge to your idea, your body wants to react immediately. You want to defend or explain or even attack back. Instead, pause. Even if it's just a second, 3 seconds, take one breath, notice your impulse to react, and then choose a response instead of a reaction. So this is all about creating space between stimulus and response, so you're acting from intention and not reflex. And I use this constantly in high-stakes conversations. Someone pushes back on something that I've spent weeks developing. My first impulse is to defend it immediately. But if I pause, I might realize that they're actually raising a valid concern that I hadn't considered. Or that they're not actually attacking the idea, they just need to feel heard. The 3-second pause is where emotional intelligence lives, in the gap between what happens and how you respond. So the next time you feel like you're about to react, reflect and then respond instead. When there's conflict or misunderstanding, our instinct is to explain our position more clearly or convincingly. But what's often needed isn't more explanation, it's more understanding. True emotional intelligence lies in your strength as a listener. So try this. When you disagree with someone or sense tension, ask a question instead of making a statement. This is also, per the ICF coaching principles, one of the best things that I've learned from my training. So for example, not that approach won't work because, instead say, help me understand your thinking on this. What problem are you trying to solve? Instead of saying, you're not seeing the full picture, try, what information do you have that I might be missing? The thing about questions is that it signals curiosity and not defensiveness. It creates space for dialogue instead of debate. In a recent team conflict, when tensions between two colleagues started rising, I stepped in and I asked them both, what outcome are you trying to each create here? It turns out they both wanted the same thing. They just had different strategies for getting there. So once we understood that, the conversation then shifted from conflict to collaboration. Questions also buy you time to understand before you commit to a position, which is really important in the workplace. They make the other person feel seen, which is often what they need more than agreement. Here's something I learned from my yoga practice that has completely changed my professional life. You can't help someone regulate their emotions if you're dysregulated yourself. When a conversation gets heated or when stakes are high, your nervous system responds, your heart rate increases, your muscles get tense, and thinking gets narrow. If you stay in that state, it's tougher to access emotional intelligence. So the practice is learn to regulate yourself in real time. And this is tough. This could be taking a few deep breaths before responding, or unclenching your jaw or dropping your shoulders. I often find that I clench my fists sometimes when I'm in Zoom meetings and I don't realize that I'm doing it. It could even be finding your feet on the ground, or excusing yourself for a moment without looking like you're making a scene if you really need to reset. I've actually taken pauses in between tense meetings, like a 2-minute bathroom break, and I come back to that meeting in a state where I can actually be helpful and thus be more productive. Your calm presence gives others permission to calm down too. And emotions are contagious, both stress and steadiness. Emotional intelligence isn't just what you do in the moment, it's also what you do after. So when there's been tension or misunderstanding or conflict, most people just move on and they hope that it resolves itself. But unaddressed tensions tend to accumulate. So try this instead. After a difficult conversation, follow up. Like a brief message, I know that conversation was tense, I just wanted to check in, how are you feeling about it? Or even, I think I could have handled that better, let me know if you want to talk about it. This does two things. It shows that you care about the relationship and not just the business outcome. And it also gives you both a chance to repair any damage before it becomes permanent. I'm a big fan of diffusing tension between colleagues by taking time to spend at least one lunch or coffee break with them, and getting to know them on a more human level and the system that they operate in. This has very often helped break the ice and understand context and communication styles far better than any direct confrontation within the work environment. Emotional intelligence isn't just about being nice or avoiding conflict. It's about seeing clearly, responding skillfully, and building relationships that can handle tension without breaking. Maybe the skill you can practice today is pausing before responding or asking an open-ended question before defending your position. These skills develop with practice, and the more you practice, the more natural they become. Until next time, this is Kritika from Align, wishing you calm amidst the chaos and alignment in all that you do.